I was headed home from work and I decided to stop at the local wrecking yard, and it was really sad to see this white 98 Mustang V6 sitting in there. It has some damage, but it's still a pretty nice car. I feel bad that it's sitting there like that. I think it could have been saved, but it's going to be crushed and gone, and that's another one off the road that we'll never see again. So it's actually pretty sad. I looked at the taillights for my 97 GT to see if they were any better, but these ones had cracks too, and when they ask a lot of money for them, it's just hard to buy the parts when they're asking so much. It'd be nice if they were a lot cheaper, then I could buy parts off these cars before they crush them. And then they do crush them, and they tell me that they just crushed this one and that one, and I'm like, okay, well, you lost a lot of good parts. But the main reason I went into the wrecking yard was to see if they had a nice 2-valve 4.6 liter for my 2003 Silver Mustang GT, the new project car, just what they would ask for the engine and if they had any in stock. I did buy a really nice low mile one from this same wrecking yard years ago for my '01 Silver GT. That was very nice, and that turned out nicely. So I asked them and they looked it up and they said, actually, we do have one pretty nice engine here that has about the same mileage as the car has on it, about 130,000 miles on it. And they asked if I wanted to see it. So I said, yeah, go ahead and bring it down. So they got the forklift and they brought it down, and I said, oh, that looks really good. I looked at the cam journals through the oil cap area, and I said, yeah, let's go ahead and buy that. So Danny Johnson let me borrow his truck, and they put the engine in the back, and I just thought that was really nice. It came out of a 2004 Mercury Grand Marquis, which is basically the same thing as a Crown Vic, and it's just a really nice, clean looking engine. I doubt this engine has ever seen any high RPM, and you can see the heads look really clean. I didn't see any seepage from the head gaskets, or even the valve covers were pretty clean. I mean, they do get a little oil residue on them and stuff, and the engine was wrapped up in a plastic tarp, but it still is a little dusty. But it's a really clean looking engine. It has all the Crown Vic stuff on it, so all I had to do was get home and start tearing it down. So I took it out, and I got the engine hoist from Danny's house. We kind of share that part, and we use it for whatever projects we're having. But here it is, home at the house, and it did come with some nice things on it, ignition coils and things that I can reuse. Here's the GT ready for its new engine. And so I started to take off the wiring harness. It is different, and it's been cut off anyway, so there's really no reuse for that. I can try to use some of the clips on it and stuff, but the fuel rails are different. The flex plate here is different, so that is not right. That intake manifold there, I took it off, and it was kind of dirty underneath, so I decided to shop vac that all out, just suck all the dirt that's in the valley there. And I definitely wanted to get all that out of there without giving it any chance to get into the intake ports. And so just went around shop vacuuming, cleaning it out the best I could. And this is all going to get cleaned up here, you'll see. But anyway, looking good. I also made sure to get down in the intake runners in case there was any debris or anything in there. I really like these engines. They're the same from the heads all the way to the crank. I tried to clean up the heads there on top where the mating surface for the gaskets would be, and I did start taping it off. I used a Scotch-Brite and some water to clean those, and then I used the masking tape. And I also did the oil filter adapter housing area here. This is where the oil and coolant both go through these passages here, so clean those all up. And then I had to get the old engine out of my garage. This is the engine that was in the black 97 GT. It was originally a bullet engine, and it was bored out and had a stroker kit in it, but it had a crack between a couple of the cylinder walls. It was actually weird if you've seen my other videos. So that engine had a couple things on it still, like the oil pump and things to get off, but I went ahead and got the truck back in with a new engine there. And that oil pan's for the Crown Vic, and it has a dent in it anyway, so I didn't mind setting it on things. But I put the back of the engine stand on it and bolted it all up nice, and then I just moved it slowly back until I could get it into position where I can put the engine stand on it. And this hoist is kind of dying out. It works sometimes and then it loses pressure, so I was trying to be real quick and get this on there just so that I could stabilize it. And so with the engine on the stand, I was able to roll it back, and you didn't see, but I had taken off the exhaust manifolds because those are different for the Crown Vic. I took off the engine mounts. Those are also different on the Crown Vic, but this year has the same timing cover, so it's going to be a direct swap. All I had to do is just take off the intake manifold, exhaust manifolds, and I will be taking off the oil pan and stuff like that. So there are a few differences. I did make sure that the engine turned over nicely, and it does. And I could hear the air trying to go through there. It does have the masking tape over the runners, but just a nice day to be working on the car. It's nice outside. Had the Cobra out so I could move those things around. It was just nice to always have a little bit of eye candy while I'm working on these project cars. So here's the new engine, and I'm really excited for it, and it's going to be going in the Silver GT. I'm going to start stripping down the engine on the Silver GT. I still have some things I need to do to it. I need to take the heads off first. I'm going to try doing this a little bit different way, but anyway, that's the update for the car. I'm very excited for that. This is something that I wanted to get for the car, and I didn't really know where I was going to find it. I bought a few of these 4.6 liter engines off of Craigslist or other places, Facebook. I've bought one with a spun bearing, so it doesn't always work out, but it's kind of a risk you take with a used engine. I've gotten some of these out of police cars before, and I put them in other Mustang GTs that I've owned, and one of them I got as cheap as $250, and this one was a little more expensive, but it was a good one. It looked really clean, so I'm pretty happy with that. So stay tuned for more updates as I start tearing apart the other engine and cleaning up the car and doing a bunch more with it. So thanks for watching. I always put the link to the playlist for this car in the description. On all my car update videos, I try to put the playlist for that specific car at the end of the video so you can watch all the videos about each car. And I also have my Mustang stories, so if you like those, subscribe and stay tuned for that.